feel like you need a design degree just to choose a paint color? Forget that terrifying wall of endless small paint chips. We're going to end the color paralysis right now. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Maria Killam, the true color expert. And today we're diving into why the traditional color theory wheel is so useless for choosing paint colors for real homes. Because the secret to the right paint color has nothing to do with theory. It's about identifying the neutrals and colors that are already built into the space. I'm going to show you one simple rule that replaces all the old complex nonsense. So let's get started. Okay, let's be real. Have you ever stood in a paint store just staring at that wall of thousands of tiny color chips? It's completely paralyzing, right? Picking colors for your home can feel so overwhelming, like there's some secret code that everyone else got but you. Well, today, we're going to crack that code, and we're going to start by throwing out the old rule book. You know, we're always told that to get color right, we have to become experts on stuff like complementary, analogous, and triadic color schemes. But what if that's the very thing that's holding you back? What if you don't need to master any of that? I want you to just let that sink in for a second. I know, that goes against pretty much everything we've ever been told about color. But this idea is the core of what we're exploring today. And honestly, it might just be the most freeing piece of decorating advice you'll ever get. All right, so let's dive into this. Why on earth would we ignore a system that's been the foundation of art and design for centuries? Well, the answer is actually surprisingly simple. Our homes are not abstract paintings. They're real lived-in spaces. So when we talk about color theory, most of us immediately picture that classic color wheel. And look, it's a fantastic tool for explaining the relationship between pure supersaturated colors, you know, like how a pure blue relates to an orange. But let's get real for a minute. How often are you actually decorating a room with pure primary colors? Probably never. And this is exactly where the theory falls apart in the real world. The color wheel is great in theory, but our reality is, well, it's messy. It's not going to tell you which of the 50 shades of gray is going to work with the specific undertones in your tile. And it's definitely not going to help you figure out what paint color to paint the walls when you've got this big multi-tone stone fireplace you have to deal with. So here's the big shift. The solution isn't to study more theory. It's to stop looking at an abstract diagram and start looking at the room that's right there in front of you. All the clues for your perfect color palette, they're already there. You just have to know how to read them. And that brings us to the first and honestly the most common situation. Most of us aren't starting from a completely blank slate. We're working in a room that already has, well, it has opinions. So it's time to learn how to listen to what your bossy room is trying to tell you. I love this concept of bossy finishes because it simplifies everything. These are the permanent or just really hard to change things in your space. We're talking about your kitchen countertops, the bathroom tile, that stone fireplace, or even the wall-to-wall carpet. They aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So guess what? They get to be the boss of your color scheme. So instead of fighting with the boss, we're going to figure it out. It's a simple 3-step process. Just look closely at those bossy finishes and pull out the existing colors you see in them. Then find an inspiration piece. Maybe a fabric, some art, a rug that has those colors in it, and maybe introduces 1 or 2 new ones. That piece is now your roadmap. Then all you have to do is repeat those colors around the room in big, medium, and small ways. It's that easy. Okay, so that's how you handle a room if it's already got its own ideas. But what if you're in that second scenario? What if you're one of the lucky ones with a totally blank canvas, an empty room with maybe just some simple wood floors? Where do you even begin then? Well, if you don't have a bossy finish dictating your choices, you get to choose your own boss. Hooray! You find your own jumping off point. This becomes your inspiration piece. It could be anything. A vibrant area rug you fell in love with, a piece of art that speaks to you, or even a set of throw pillows with a pattern you just can't get out of your head. This one item will do the exact same job as a stone fireplace. It's going to give you your color palette. And this right here is the absolute key to decorating with confidence. I mean, think about it. Choosing a paint color from a tiny 1-inch square chip in total isolation, that's terrifying. But pulling a soft, beautiful blue from a pattern in your curtains and seeing how it just perfectly connects everything, that feels right. It feels intentional. It's all about creating those relationships inside the room. Okay, so we've covered how to pick colors with confidence. Now let's talk about how to make sure those confident choices don't turn into expensive mistakes you're going to regret in 5 or 10 years. It's time to talk about the trend trap. It happens like clockwork. Every era has its favorite it neutral. It feels super fresh and modern when it's all over the stores and social media, but once that trend cycle moves on, you're stuck with finishes that basically scream the year they were installed. So look at this timeline. It's all here. Remember the 80s? Hunter green and honey oak was everywhere. Then the 90s came along and softened it to sage green and ginger shaker style cabinets. Then boom, the 2000s gave us the super heavy Tuscan brown everything. The 2010s were of course the decade of gray, all gray. And more recently, a stark black and white trend took over. And now, well, the pendulum is swinging back and warm neutrals are making a huge comeback as everyone gets tired of the cold white box. So yeah, trends dictate what's sold in stores. But when you're choosing something expensive, like flooring or countertops, do you really want it to have an expiration date? And if you want personal advice tailored to your specific unique home, check out my e-design packages below. Let's make your home your favorite place to be. So how do you choose finishes that are going to stand the test of time? You look for things that are timeless. You want finishes that are solid colors, or maybe have a very subtle pattern that reads as a solid from a distance. You need to make sure they're married to your other hard finishes, meaning they coordinate beautifully. They should be quiet. They shouldn't scream for attention. And finally, they should share a consistent neutral undertone. And when you do this, you get a timeless backdrop that you can easily and cheaply update with paint and pillows and wallpaper for years and years to come. So after going through all of this, what's the one single rule that actually replaces the color wheel? Let's bring this all together into one simple, powerful takeaway. This is the only rule you really need to remember. Your room's context, the finishes, the furniture you have, the art you love, that is your ultimate guide. You have to trust what you see in your own interior more than a theoretical chart. So the next time you're thinking about color, don't start by asking what's trendy or what the rules say you should do. Instead, just look around your home and ask yourself a much more interesting, much more powerful question. What is my home trying to tell me? The answer is your perfect palette. And if you don't have my Understanding Undertones neutral color wheel with the whites on the back, you need this for making sure that your countertop matches your backsplash, matches your floors, and your tiles in your bathroom, your paint color on the walls. This is how you work with the warm neutral trend that is upon us today and make sure that all of your finishes look like they're married. That will give you the most beautiful home. And if you choose the timeless finishes that I talked about, you will have a home that doesn't need to be renovated every 10 years. I'll post that link below and let me know what your questions are, and I'll see you next time.